Good evening, I'm Jeff Lyons. It is 9 o'clock here on Tuesday night, May the 12th. Let's keep the months right here. And I'm glad you're here for the First Alert Weather Show. At 9, we have some possible rain overnight and some very warm, humid weather moving in for the weekend. We'll talk about all those things, and you can talk about whatever you want on the 14 News Facebook page comment section, which I will read here in just a bit. It is a beautiful night out there. Still clear skies for the most part, but clouds will be moving in a little later on. There's a slight chance we could hear a rumble of thunder. I think the odds are very slim, but it's not zero. Maybe a little light rain out there, very spotty. Tomorrow the sunshine returns. It'll be cooler with temperatures in the mid-70s, and the fire risk is elevated tomorrow and really until we get some soaking rainfall because of the dry conditions, the dry air, and a little bit more of a breeze tomorrow, this time out of the northwest. The weekend brings a turnabout with hot and humid. I'm saying hot already because we're expecting 90 on Sunday. That would qualify as hot. That is not rain, despite what you're seeing on the radar now. Rather, that is just a reflection that we sometimes get with a temperature inversion or other things going on as the radar is turning. The actual rain is way up here to the north. It's actually along Interstate 70 and will slowly move in here later tonight. But again, that line is kind of dying on the vine. I'm not really expecting much, if any, rain overnight at all locations. It will be spotty, those who do manage to pick up a shower. Then we're back into the clear again tomorrow and Thursday as well. Friday we have another chance for some clouds and rain moving in, and this time maybe a little more substantial chance of some scattered thunderstorms out there. The overnight rainfall through Friday, though pretty scant, at less than 1/4 of an inch. I mentioned a while ago there that Sunday will likely be the first 90-degree temperature we have this year. That'll be May the 17th. Last year we didn't get to 90 until June the 18th. The year prior, May 21st, so that would be a little earlier. We did have a May 11th 90 on the 2022. That actually set a record, and the 90s tend to still be in record territory this early in the month. Now, the average first 90 is usually around May the 31st to June 1st. Temperatures out there now are still very comfortable, 60s and 70s. The line of showers actually originated with a cold front up here in Minnesota. It came across the Great Lakes, but as it encounters the dry air over the tri-state, a lot of those showers will dry up before they make it to the ground. We have relative humidity at 42%, the dew point way down at 46. We won't get that cold tonight. We did this morning, but we have the clouds coming down that will kind of slow the cooling process just a bit, and the air will mix with that frontal passage. So we started at 46, we ended at 80 degrees today. So, you know, those big temperature swings tend to happen when we have this dry air in place. It's actually 7 degrees warmer now than it was yesterday at this time. Our low and our high today, actually our low was 9 degrees cooler than average and our high was 4 degrees warmer than normal. Again, a wide gap there between the high and the low because of dry air. So we put an 80 on the map. It's only the second time we've hit 80 in May. I'm going to get the month right here. I don't know what my problem is here this evening. Might be my microphone's hung up on the desk leg. Anyway, the May stats here, we are still looking for quite a bit of rain, almost 1.5 inches. And we are still lagging, of course, for the year. And our average temperature for the month so far is still well below normal there, almost 6 degrees cooler than what is typical. The broad picture shows only this system in line to have any impact on the tri-state in the next day or so. But farther down the line, we have another cold front that will follow high pressure, which will come right after the cold front tomorrow and keep us clear. And that front then will have a little more to work with. The high will have brought some moisture up from the south, and so we're thinking our better chance for rain might actually occur on Friday afternoon, and then we have a continuing chance of scattered showers on Saturday, and then again on Monday night and Tuesday as those temperatures then ratchet up to near 90 degrees. Looking at the GFS model, You see those scattered showers possible on Saturday, and then dry Sunday with rain returning on Monday night and Tuesday, and a cold front there, so the potential would be in there for some thunderstorms, in addition to maybe heavier rain with the added moisture in the atmosphere. Let's look at the rainfall potential, and again, this is just the spitball estimate for the next 7 days. The GFS coming up with about a ½ an inch of rain, a little more than that. The European model has us with showers and some thunderstorms on Friday afternoon, and then scattered but mainly north on Saturday, dry Sunday, and then that rain event Monday night and Tuesday next week. So the GFS and European are in general agreement on the days anyway that we would get rain. Timing is always problematic this many days out. The European also coming up with only a third of an inch of rain total there. So obviously a disparity in the numbers, but we're probably looking at the lesser amounts, maybe not as little as a third of an inch in the next 7 days, but probably not over an inch either. 60 degrees, increasing clouds, a few scattered showers tonight, 74 tomorrow. It'll be breezy, and over the next 7 days, we have our first 90 potentially on Sunday, and near that level on Saturday and Monday before thunderstorms come in early next week. Longer range through the end of May. We're expecting much warmer than normal to our east and warmer than normal over the tri-state, and rainfall at or slightly above the average. Our pet pick tonight, this is Chrome Princess. I think I'm not sure the gentleman's name who has submitted those. I thought it was Seibert. I could not find it in the record. I had the cat picture and name, but not the photographer. So you know who you are if you submitted that one. All right, let me see if we have any questions or comments. And we might have a couple here. Let's see. Got to get over here to Facebook. There we are. And have a few of you in here already. All right, we've got Suzanne Daly. Good evening. Caston Lowry's on up in Fairfield. I've been missing the show lately, schoolwork and track. Well, those are good things, good reasons to miss the First Alert Weather Show at 9, Caston. You're coming up on the end of school, too, so it always gets busy right then. Cheyenne Hammonds, good evening. Zach Seats, hope we get beneficial rain next week. I do, too. Yes. Caston Lowry, been looking at the cold front on Monday. Yep, hopefully that will trigger some showers and thunderstorms, which we need. Jeff Miller, open the pool today. All right, we're all going over there. And Caston's been working on his pool. Well, you guys and your pools. I'm not in the pool club. I don't have a pool. Let's see. Carolyn Lovelace watching from Hobstadt this evening, and Mary Danner is watching. Good evening, Mary. Glad to have you on there tonight, too. For Science Corner, I've got two short little things for you. One, I think we talked about maybe a couple of weeks ago, and that was how atmospheric conditions affect the flight of a baseball. I was asked and have been asked many times whether physics and weather can impact sporting events, particularly ones where you have a ball going a long distance. Golf comes to mind, and baseball. The golf question had to do with the Coriolis effect, which causes objects to deviate to the right, I think to the right in the northern hemisphere, because of the rotation of the Earth. And the question was, could you hit a golf ball far enough that it would, other than a normal slice or hook, would the gravitational pull bring it over? And you're talking at scale. I mean, even if you're a really good golfer, I don't think you could whack it more than about 300 yards maybe. And it may be more than that, but no, it would be minimal. You can't blame Coriolis on that. Weather, though, in baseball is a little different. The Coriolis wouldn't come into play because you're talking about maybe a 3 to 350 foot arc for the flight of the ball. But the composition of the atmosphere could. And if you had cold air out there, and we're talking air, in the 50s and 60s, the molecules are closer together. So theoretically, that would put a little more drag on the ball, thus causing it to fly a shorter distance. And so on a cold day, and we're not factoring wind into this in any way, you would likely have the ball come back down and either get flied out, or caught infield for an out, or it may be an infield get to first base or something, but it would hold the ball back. Warm weather, on the other hand, if it's 80, 90 and higher, and even if it's humid, the molecules in the atmosphere, the air molecules, are farther apart. And so the thinking here is that with fewer molecules to collide with the ball, you would have less friction. Therefore, you would have more efficient flight and a longer distance. So the same ball hit at the same force in the same direction, theoretically, would go out of the park or go much farther because it would have less resistance. And I mentioned wind earlier. Of course, wind would have a much bigger impact on the flight of golf balls and baseballs, footballs, everything, because of their size and the magnitude of the wind. Many of you have asked me, and I did a little research on this, has it been windier this year than the past? And basically, the data is not easy to research in a methodical way. I did the best I could. But for this year, the line here represents the trend of days where we had winds either above 20 miles an hour, and that was the average wind. There are many days you'll have a gust of 20, but not have an average wind of 20. And what I found was in 2025 versus 2026, we did get an uptick in windier days in January. But in February, the trend reversed. We had fewer days that met the criterion of a 20 mile per hour wind gust or greater. I just said gust again, didn't I? I think I meant gust, not average wind. Average wind at 20 would be a really windy day. March and April then came in both with an uptrend in windy days. So yes, it has been windier using the criterion 20 miles per hour if there was a gust of that magnitude at any point in the day. A 2-minute wind, that's what we use, not a gust, a 2-minute wind at 20 miles, then it would be greater. And I think I went on to say that the measurement of wind is somewhat complicated because there's the gust, the maximum gust, which is obvious, but then the wind is also measured in a rolling 2-minute speed, right? So every 2 minutes the wind is calculated over that time period and you get a number. Then you go to the next 2 minutes and so forth. And so what that does, it damps out, like if you have let's say we have a thunderstorm and you get a 60 mile an hour wind gust that lasts 30 seconds, that would be damped out in the 2-minute wind average. It would be a high average for that particular 2-minute period, but then when you have all the 2-minute periods in the day and you melt those down into an average, that's how you accomplish that. Why is it a 2-minute wind? I don't know. There are many criterion in the Weather Service that are scientifically valid but very difficult to understand and to explain. And the best part, I guess, is with data collection, if there's a standard, in our case a 2-minute wind, average wind, then it makes it easier to do research and comparisons like this one. So the bottom line and shortest answer I can give is yes, this spring, especially March and April, have been windier in general than it was, say, 2 years ago in 2024, and near the levels of 2022 and 2023, a little bit higher in our case, and definitely for January. So if you think it's been a little windier, then yes, you are correct. Casson Lowry is going into 8th grade, trying to do some weather studies this summer. Well, that sounds good. Casson wants to know if I recommend Radar Omega. Sure, if it's free, go for it. Radar Scope is the one I use, but that's a paid app. I think it's might be about $18 or $20 for a year. But it has every possible thing. But Radar Omega is very good too, and I know people that use it and really like it. Plus, I think you can display all the warnings and other data on there. That's all I have for you tonight for the First Alert Weather Show at 9. I'll be on 14 News at 10 again, and I will see you then. Michael Fecka will be in here tomorrow night, back from his vacation. He'll be handling evenings here for the rest of the week. You all have a great night. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at 10.